Hello, my name is Peyton and I work with the Lethbridge Public Library. I run the In Stitches program Tuesdays at 1 at the main branch and Saturdays at 1 at the Crossings branch. And so today we're going to go over how to begin knitting. So the first thing with knitting is you want a project or you want some yarn. So the yarn I have with us today is the Bernay Velvet. Bernay was recommended by a friend. It's a very good brand. I really enjoy it. And it's this silvery gray, shiny, soft velvet. And the reason I chose this was actually for a shark toque. Ta-da! So this is my little shark toque. He's got the top fin, he's got side fins, he's got his teeth, he's got his eyes. And I chose this fabric because it looks like a shark. It's gray, it's shimmery, it looks like he can come out and attack us. So I figured since I had leftovers and I have a shark toque, I might as well make a scarf to match. So when you're looking at yarns, if you see one and you're like, oh my gosh, I really want to buy this, but I don't have a project to go with it, some of them will have a free pattern or project in the label. So this one does come with one. So if you saw this in the store and wanted it, it does have a pattern. The other thing all yarns will have are washing instructions, what size knitting needle or crochet hook to use. So this one is 6.5 millimeters. So I have 6.5 millimeter size needles with me. And then it also says what kind of yarn it is. So this is a bulky yarn. So if your project called for bulky yarn, this is the kind you want to use. All skeins will also have the name of the color and its batch number, and that's really important. I did a project with purple, and although it was the same name, they were different batches, and so they weren't quite the same shade of purple. And you could see it, which is why batch number is important, so that if you're doing a larger project, you want to try and get it all from the same batch. So this is our little bit of yarn here. So I'm just going to put it to the side because I actually have a ball of yarn set aside right now, and we're going to start. So I'm right-handed, so the way I'm going to do this will be primarily for right-handed people. If you can do it like this and you're left-handed, that's great. If not, I apologize. So we're going to start by doing a slip knot, and a slip knot is one that you make by wrapping it around, going through the hole and grabbing it from the other side and pulling it through. And it's called a slip knot because it just slips right out. So again, you make a little loop here, and then you grab the other side and you pull it through, and it gets all nice and tight, and then it can just slip out. So let's see here. I'm gonna do another one. And this time I'm gonna put my needle through the hole and just gonna pull it. So there it is. It's on the needle, and you want a little bit of a tail. It does say a lot with crafting, with needle crochet, not to tie it. I'm really bad because when I finish a project, I will tie it just because I'm very nervous about it falling apart one day. So, but that's when I finish a project and everything is perfect and looks wonderful. So that is our first loop. Now this is a scarf, and I'm going to make it 20 stitches wide. So this is number 1. And so to make your other stitches, just pull some more yarn here. You're gonna just wrap it around your finger. If you want, you can wrap it around 2 fingers, whatever's easiest for you. I just wrap it around 1. You're gonna put it through, and you're just gonna pull it. Now I like to make sure they're close and pretty tight, and not so tight that I can't get my needle in there. So I want to, like you can see it, too tight is no good. I'm just gonna fix that now. So I want it a little loose, but I want them fairly close together because I find when I do the first row is always loose. So if I bring my shark back over, you can see on the bottom here, like it's fairly loose compared to my other stitches. So I try to make them a little closer together on the needle so that they don't get so loose. That's 1. And so we're going to do that. We're going to do it 20 times. So 2, again, just pulling it beside the other one. Not super tight, but enough to get my needle in, but not enough to stretch. 3, or I guess 4, 5. So there's my first 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there I have my first row of 10. Just going to move it down my needle a bit more so that I can do my next row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and a second set of 10. So now I have 20 stitches on my needle. That's the important part. Now, if you are a beginner, be careful not to slide it off the end. All right? Or even an expert person. Like, just don't, that's where you gotta be super careful. So when I start my row, I'll shuffle it like this and then hold it, but not until I'm ready. So I'm gonna make sure that these are, well spaced apart. Grab my second needle, and like I said, I'm gonna bump it here close, and that's just so that it's easier to work with and I can just pull them off the edge. I take the first loop very carefully and I put my needle inside that loop just like that. So you see the little hole here? Just bring it closer, just the little hole here. And we just put it right inside. Then we take our string and we wrap it around. Okay? So again, get out of there. Take our needle, put it through, wrap it around, and then we're going to pull this needle. Okay? Keep it really close. And you can see right here's our thread, and we're just going to push it through and off. So you put it through the hole, you wrap it around, okay, so it's down here. Push this one down, keeping it touching the other needle, and then pull it through. You just keep doing that over and over again. And you will find a rhythm, and you'll find what speed you work comfortably with. But you can see, like, this is when the reason I said to put them close together. You can see when I pull here, this slack. That's why I try to do them a little close together and a little tighter. Through, around, and off. Through, around, and off. Through, around. Oh, I'm just going to try and get a little closer to the camera for you so you get a really good view of the process. Through, around, and off. Making sure I'm holding this one so that it doesn't fall off prematurely, because that's how you drop a stitch. And dropping a stitch is not what you want to do, because then you get holes and then your whole thing falls apart. Or if you're like me, you find a scrap piece of yarn and tie it together to cover up the hole. The key is not to drop your stitch. Through, around, and off. Through, around, and off. Through, around, and off. Through, around, and off. And for the last one, it's the same thing. Through, around, and off. And that gives us our first completed row. And you'll see, once you're done, it actually does spread out. So although it looks like that big, it's actually more like, where are we here? Be more like that big when I'm all done with it. And so that's how you start. And I'm going to work on this and get a good chunk of it done. And then we'll have another video to show you how to end. But that's all you need to do, is you just keep going and going. And if you were doing a project, this would count as your first row. So you might have a counter on this needle. And then you would go again and go again and then go again and count how many rows you need. Because this is just a basic scarf, and I'm just doing that, the basic stitch. There's no counting or anything. It's just basically once I use up this ball of thread, if it's long enough, I'll consider it done. If not, I will tie up more from the skein that I have here. So again, this is Peyton with the Lethbridge Public Library, doing this for In Stitches and Saturday Stitching. And this is just how to start a scarf or other knitting project. Thanks and have a great day.